Is there anything that you can possibly think of that warranted this raid on a former president's residence as it relates to archives potentially of classified material when the president, according to his son Eric, was working hand in hand in tandem with the archives people to get them anything that they might need?
All right. First of all, I'm a former chief of staff to United States Attorney General. We would never, ever have done this. Never. That's number one. Number two, it's 90 days before midterm election. That's outrageous. Number three, everybody pretty much knows that Donald Trump is going to run in the Republican primary for president of the United States. And so you have a sitting president who wants to run against him and his attorney general acting like this. Now, here's how this worked. Everybody's guessing. I'll tell you what happened. This is in the jurisdiction of the U.S. Attorney in District of Columbia, who's also overseeing the January 6th prosecutions. Why? Because that's where the National Archives is, in the District of Columbia. They didn't send FBI agents from the Washington office down there. They would have used FBI agents in South Florida, and they would have coordinated with the U.S. Attorney's office down there if they're playing it by the book. Number two, he wouldn't have done anything without the sign-off of the Attorney General of the United States, period. Number three, this was well orchestrated, so this has been going on for weeks. Now, you keep asking your guests, what's the justification? There is no justification. But what's he going to say tomorrow, the Attorney General? Here's my guess. We've been negotiating with Trump and his lawyers since February when we found out they had this information. We were getting nowhere. And then we know, or we heard, that some documents were being destroyed. Maggie Haberman of the New York Slimes was on CNN. They've been running pictures of hers that she's going to have in the book of documents being flushed down a toilet. That doesn't mean a damn thing. It could be anything flushed down a toilet.
With Elise Stefanik's name on it. That's all it was.
Okay, but what I'm saying is you've asked, what would the pretext be?
Correct.
And so it is a pretext is exactly right. There is no justification for sending 30 friggin' FBI agents to the former president's compound in Mar-a-Lago in early morning and conducting themselves this way, or in any other cases in which they've done exactly the same thing. The FBI is corrupt. This guy Garland goes after parents. He goes after Republican state legislatures. He goes after states he disagrees with their abortion positions. He doesn't do a damn thing to protect the border, which is compelled by the Constitution. Nothing. So let's be clear. Newt is right. They're all right. This is the worst attack on this republic in modern history, period. And it's not just an attack on Donald Trump. It's an attack on everybody who supports him. It's an attack on anybody who dares to raise serious questions about Washington, D.C. and the establishment in both parties. I haven't heard a damn thing from the Republican leadership in the Senate. Have you? Not one of those guys has put out a statement because they're weak. That's why.
Well, no, we did. Well, hang on, Mark. We did hear from the leader, the minority leader in the House.
I said in the Senate.
And that would be Kevin McCarthy. I know you said the Senate, but I just wanted to make sure people know. He said, Attorney General Garland, preserve your documents and clear your calendar. Ron DeSantis said the raid on Mar-a-Lago is another escalation in the weaponization of federal agencies against the regime's political opponents. While people like Hunter Biden get treated with kid gloves, now the regime is getting another 87,000 IRS agents to wield against its adversaries? Question mark, Banana Republic.
Yeah, and he's right. And let me tell you something. Just watch how this Attorney General conducts himself. Politicizes everything. The parents he goes after. He doesn't enforce the border. He goes after the men who they claimed were whipping immigrants. They weren't whipping anybody. Look how they went after those 4 cops who were found innocent in Kentucky, but now they bring civil rights charges against them. Look how they're nationalizing police forces across the country. Just look at this Department of Justice. It's the most damn corrupt thing I've ever seen. And I've been there, and I've worked there, and they have ruined that department. Look at this U.S. attorney in Washington, D.C. Yes.
There was a senator who's just commented on this, Mike Lee, who's running for re-election, and I know we both support him out in Utah. He said, as a lawyer, former federal prosecutor, the current member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, I have a few questions about the FBI's raid of Mar-a-Lago. First, did the Attorney General personally sign off on this action? Mark, he had to have, as had Director Wray. He had to, right?
Look, I'm going to tell you what happened. They sat around the conference table in the Attorney General's conference room like we used to, and I suspect in there was the Attorney General, the Deputy and the Associate Attorneys General, the head of the Criminal Division, the head of the Public Integrity Section, Mr. Wray, and one or two of his either assistant directors or associate directors, and perhaps other people with the U.S. Attorney, and they made the decision. With the bottom line, the buck stops with the Attorney General. And I just want to say, I thought this was a farce.
For all this and much more, sign up for Levin TV.